and welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Happy to welcome Morgan Darr. She is from the Salt and Light Coffee Company, or you say Salt and Light Coffee Co.?
Yeah, Salt and Light Coffee Co. Either works.
And a very interesting story here. So first of all, welcome. You were recently featured in About Magazine as some young women who are very entrepreneurial and getting things started. So let's go back. Let's go back in time. I think you said you've liked coffee since forever. So tell me, first of all, about your affinity for coffee itself.
Yeah, so my first experience with coffee was when I was 6 years old, and my uncle gave me a black cup of coffee with a sugar cookie, and I just fell in love. And it was like, I jokingly say that was like destiny. I knew this is what I wanted to do, and I had that first cup of coffee. So
let me stop you right there, because taste buds usually are not grown up enough at the age of 6 to appreciate coffee. It would be awfully bitter, I would think. No?
Yeah.
You liked it.
I did. I liked it. And they actually say that there, it's kind of genetics, like whether you like the flavor of coffee or not. And so I think the sugar cookie really helped balance that out somewhat. I think I, had probably more sugar cookie than coffee with each bite. But I
But
did.
it made a good dunker.
Yeah, right. So
do you have a great sense of smell? Maybe the aroma or something had something to do with it?
I've always liked the smell of coffee too. I don't know. Yeah. I just know that that was my first experience, and I fell in love with coffee ever since then.
So were your parents upset with your uncle at all? Like you gave her what?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't really remember that part, but it's not like I drank coffee, on the daily after that.
You didn't start having it for breakfast.
Right. Yeah, I didn't brew my own cup every morning. But yeah, I just remember trying it and just falling in love with it then.
So fast forward a little bit, you did some missions trips, and you got to see where your coffee was coming from. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so that was all... that all stemmed from a friendship I developed when I was in high school. So I was an international student from Haiti, and one day we were both injured during soccer practice, and she asked me, Morgan, you're 18, you're a senior in high school. What's, after high school look like for you? What are you going to do? And I said, I'll probably go to college, work a 9 to 5, live a basic life. And then as soon as, I'm ready, I want to start importing coffee and having my own coffee importing business where I work with farmers in developing countries to help improve their communities and their lives, And she said, "Oh, well, that's what my uncle does in Haiti. He owns a coffee company in Haiti, and this is what he does." And I was like, "No way," because you always hear stories of people high up CEOs of coffee companies doing things like this, but you never actually meet someone who does this. And so it was right after I graduated, I flew down to Haiti and just toured the coffee industry. And so that was my first experience in Haiti and experience with coffee farmers. I just toured. I just went to farmers' homes, met farmers, toured 2 of the largest industries, which is Rebo and Selecto in Haiti, and asked him so many questions. We have pictures of me, and I have my little notebook out, and these, just super nerdy, but I was just all about it, and it was great. And then I came back, and I started college and dropped college in the same week, actually. Yeah. So I always tell people, I didn't even go to college.
You attended.
Right. I tried it. Give it my best shot.
Let's take a pause there a minute, because you knew going into college what you wanted that outcome to be.
Yeah.
Most college students change their major 7 times. They have a hard enough time figuring out, what do I want to major in? Then what do I want to do with it? I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right, yeah.
But you knew, I want to go to college, get a degree, and then what I want to do is start importing coffee. Where did that desire come from?
So the desire to run my own coffee importing business started when I was probably 16 years old, and terms like fair trade, direct trade were really being heavily used and common. And so I took a major interest in fair trade and direct trade, and I remember doing a research report on it in English class and learning a lot about these 2 terms and starting to study the injustices that these farmers were facing in developing countries. And it was a matter of, knowing the problem and choosing not to do anything about the problem was equivalent to supporting the problem. And it was, just like anything else, when you see that there's a problem, or if it's, a neighbor's having a problem, for you not to do something about it, you feel that weight too, And so that was when I knew what I wanted to do.
Was it difficult for a first world teenager, your average all-American, I'm sure very busy young lady, to get their head wrapped around a serious third world problem?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, the first trip I took to Haiti, really the first and second trip, I asked some super ignorant questions, and it's just
like what?
So, I remember we just got off the airplane and we were in the car and I said, "Are those homes? Like, do people live there?"
Yeah.
And my friend and my friend's mom answered it like, "Well, of course they live there. That's their home, And they're just things that, it's one thing for us to see. I grew up in church, so I saw missionaries. I saw their PowerPoints and their, my sister's been on mission trips before, I come from a family that supports a lot of missions work. And so I see the poverty through social media and through, things like that. But to see it firsthand is life-changing.
Tell me about
totally
that
different.
culture shock of trying to adapt.
Yeah. I always tell people, so when I take people to Haiti with me now, I tell them it's a lot to process. So for me, while I was there, I just am very quiet, and not so much anymore because I'm used to it. I'm adjusted. I know the culture now, I know what to expect. But the first 2 trips, really, I just was really kind of quiet and just taking it all in, just watching and observing and praying, because it's just one of those things that, like I said, I can't tell someone what it's like until you see it firsthand. And sometimes, there was times I just had to close my eyes and look away when I saw a child or, somebody begging, especially the children, would come up and beg and say, I'm hungry, And those are the things that, I just had to sometimes look away because they couldn't handle it. And then there's always that a little bit of guiltiness that you feel when your plane lands in Miami and all of a sudden it's just this like whole different life. Whole different life. And people are walking through the airports and they're on their mission and they have their nice luggage and you think like, what's the difference? Like how can this be so just an hour's difference time wise? I can be in this country and then I can be in this country and it's totally different. And
amazing.
And you feel a little guilty. And I think anyone who does any kind of social justice work weighs out and has that conflict of, but why am I here and why am I so blessed to live here and they're not? But you learn that you're blessed to be a blessing,
There
and
you go. I'm so glad you answered your own question because who's going to help these people
right,
if
absolutely.
not someone with some resources who has that desire, that heart's desire to help them?
Absolutely, and that's my stance with
Were
the
you
company.
amazed at the work ethic of the Haitian people?
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Yes. There's so much to learn from Haiti. So much. These Haitian people, they're hospitable, they're hardworking, and they're just loving and joyful people. And I just I want to take every person I know, every American to Haiti with me because of that. And that's why I am so strongly passionate about helping these coffee farmers because each coffee bean, each coffee cherry, so coffee beans actually are grown inside of fruit. I don't know if people know that or not, but each coffee cherry is hand-picked and then hand-sorted in Haiti. And that's very labor intensive. It's hot out there. They're in the sun. And there's about 230 coffee beans inside one 16-ounce cup of coffee. So a 16 ounce is like a grande at Starbucks. And so can you imagine? if Americans had to go pick 230 coffee cherries just for one morning cup of coffee, I would say that we would have a whole lot less coffee drinkers.
A lot. That's right. And we would not have a Starbucks on every single corner.
Absolutely, yeah, because it would be too much work and for the pay too.
Yes.
Americans wouldn't do it because they wouldn't get paid enough, and coffee farmers only get paid one time a year, after harvest.
One time a year after harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's a lot of directions I want to go.
Yeah.
Just after all of that, that had to be quite an education. First of all, you were learning where your cup of coffee came from. So talk to me about that process. Are there ways that you were able to figure out, this farm does it better than this farm, or to figure out who you wanted to partner with? How did you go about that?
Yeah. So I was super blessed to establish some connections with Selecto Coffee in Haiti. So,
and how did that come about? How did you find out about them?
So my friend's uncle owns Rebo Coffee in Haiti. So that's one of the largest industries. Selecto's like second largest. In my first trip to Haiti, I toured both of them. And so I talked to the staff members and owners of both industries. And I asked them both the same question. So I asked Rebo, would you be willing to send coffee to export coffee to me in the States? And he said, no, Americans don't pay enough for their coffee. And I said, okay, I'm aware of that problem. So knowing that I would pay more, a certain percentage over market value price, I'd pay that, whatever. We can agree on that.
Make it fair market.
Right. Would you then, export to me? And he said, I don't know. You can try. And so I left
So
feeling
you're telling me there's a chance.
yeah, and I left feeling
right.
really discouraged, though.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
because it just
but
was
we
like
can try.
Yeah, we
it's
can-
better than no way.
absolutely. But then later on in that week, we toured Selecto too,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him the same question. He said, "Yeah, absolutely. Here's my
Wow.
email. Just email me whenever you're ready."
Wow.
You know?
Okay. Well, that was an easier bridge.
Yeah,
to
and I remember
cross.
leaving and just being like, "Thank you, Jesus. This is my connection."
Mm-hmm.
Like just feeling so alive in that moment, knowing like, okay, things are working out, doors are opening.
That's right.
And Selecto is the industry that I partnered with then, and they have provided all of my coffee farmers, and so they're my access to my farmers. It's, you know, when people say they do direct trade, it's really difficult to actually only work with the farmer. Because oftentimes the farmers, you know, they don't have the knowledge in exporting and handling large amounts of money, you know, and there's a lot that goes into exporting coffee, and they don't
Yes.
handle that. They sell it to somebody else who does. And so I'm very lucky to work with Selecto that I still get to have my relationship with my farmers, and they have all of my farmers in one association, so I can say that these are my farmers. This is exactly where my coffee is coming from. There's transparency and traceability with it, but it's not. But it's easier for me to have that connection, and it's also a safer way, you know.
Yes.
So-
and it sounds like they'll get more because there's less middleman.
Absolutely.
happening.
I oversee the whole supply chain
Yes.
in the coffee industry.
When you
So-
say my farmers, do you know them? Have you met them? Their
Yeah. Oh,
families?
yeah.
You know them by name, and they know you.
Yeah, so that's just the part that I'm just so blessed and lucky that I get to come down, and they're all in the same community. You know, it's Cheer, Haiti is where I work. We drive 4 hours through a dry riverbed to go see them on top of a little mountain, you know, and when we're there, everyone's so excited, and it's just such a fun atmosphere. And yeah, we have pictures with them, and, you know, just getting to shake their hand and get to know them and ask them questions and learn about their kids. This last time we got to hang out with all their kids too, so we had a special day for just the kids, and I had told them that, you know, we could handle about 150 kids, and 520 kids showed up. And so it was insane, but I mean, that's just my element. I mean, I had
Yeah.
so much fun with these kids. So yeah, we do know them by name.
So, providing this employment for them, are you getting to see their lives become changed for the better as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we're in the very beginning of this, but I'm already starting to see a little bit of a breakthrough. And one thing that I'm learning is that it's one thing to pay, you know, fair trade prices is 30% over market value price.
Yes.
And so it's one thing to pay that, but it's another thing to help their community, because coffee farmers live in a very close-knit community. And so you can't pay a higher percentage for one farmer's coffee and not the others. And you can't just pay more for their coffee. You have to do something for their whole community. That means the education, the medical care, the kids, the foods, you know, just all of that. And so I'm really excited because the next thing that we're working on is a garden, a community garden. And so we'll employ people to run the garden, and then they can sell whatever's left over to the markets, and then whatever money they make, they can turn that right back into a bigger garden or more, you know, produce for the next year, and anyone's welcome to this food. So, you know, it's things like that. You have to do stuff with the community too. And
Is your area where you are, is there a Compassion International in the schools in that area? Are the children at least benefiting from some of that?
so there's actually no outside organizations in Cheer, Haiti. There's a tiny little clinic, like a little hospital, but it's locally owned. So there's no outside help at all in Cheer,
Wow.
Haiti. And that's
So
why
you really have, that's why they're so excited to see you. You have brought a little ray of hope to them.
yeah, and you know, that's the goal, you know, just bringing in and bringing more business to the area is the way that, you know, to just have more change and to more development is by bringing business and helping them with that, not necessarily bringing more organizations, but just providing more ways for them to help themselves.
What about the people there? Tell me about their lives. Is there a church? Is there a house of worship? Have they been introduced to Jesus? You know, tell me about, because Haiti's gone through a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. So almost everyone in Haiti is religious. Catholic is their main denomination in the country, but there are, I want to say, 2 local churches in Cheer, Haiti, where we are, and we get to, you know, donate Bibles written in Creole, their language, and stuff with those churches. And this next trip, we're going to partner with them on a few things too. So a majority of all my farmers are very religious. They believe in the Lord. You know, we always say, God bless you, and they say, God bless you back. You know, we pray and we sing hymns before any of our meetings that we have with them. And so one of our farmers will usually stand up and lead us all in prayer, or I'll lead us in prayer. And yeah, they're really welcoming and longing for a relationship with the Lord. So yeah.
It's so cool seeing a business, a for-profit business, going in and making these kinds of differences. This is very unique, and we do have to take a short break. We're speaking with Morgan Darsh. She's from Salt and Light Coffee Co. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.